Which funny moments am I allowed to talk about on camera?
I come into the office and, I don't have any idea that it's April Fool's Day. And I walk in, and as soon as I walk into Brian's office, he's got this massive horn, and he just blows it in my face, literally blows me out the door. 5 minutes later, we're in a Monday sales meeting, and Brian pulls out like 50 cans of silly string. And we get into this massive silly string war. There is silly string everywhere. I mean, it's in people's laptops, it's in their drinks, it's on the ceiling tiles. It's everywhere. And for the next 3 weeks, we'll be sitting there in that conference room. We're just pulling silly string out of random crevices.
If you're a male, you should always be very careful using the restroom, because one of the funniest and favorite pranks is to take those little pop rocks and lift up the seat and put all the pop rocks underneath, so that when a gentleman sits down to use the restroom, that it just starts going on fire. Pop, 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 pop. And you will hear people just yelling and screaming, and then of course afterwards they know exactly what happened, but it is absolutely hilarious when that happens.
Every time people play these games, like Mac and Brian, all the stuff, they have these funny games where they're shooting people and stuff. And I don't get pulled into those. I still to this day don't know how I got pulled into this stupid circle game. And I took it a little too far and painted one of his entire walls with that circle game on it. So Jeff repainted it with Aggie's crimson red, which it still is today. I still to this day don't know. It's the most juvenile, childish game in the world. I'm somehow involved in it. And when I get involved in stuff, I tend to take it to the extreme. So I know you're watching Borrego. It's one of these.
Larry's favorite thing to do is scare people as they're walking in the doors. If you see Larry's truck in the parking lot, you should always open up the door and check on both sides before you walk in.
Larry had a mask on, scared the bejeebers out of somebody, and he was laughing through the mask though. And so the other person heard him on the other side. That was so and then I was laughing, so that was so funny. It's like living a bunch of brothers.
Some of my most memorable moments are, to be honest, off scene here are people getting iced.
Icing is if someone presents you in a creative and fun way with a Smirnoff Ice, the person who is being served that Smirnoff Ice must take a knee and drink the entire contents of the Smirnoff Ice. And it's become an Abrazo tradition now.
So Rebecca gifted Warren an ice, a Smirnoff Ice.
My first day was a Monday meeting. I heard they get a little bit rowdy, but I didn't really know what that meant. And probably within 15 to 20 minutes of the Monday meeting, Brian got iced by Larry.
He had taped a Smirnoff Ice to the bottom of Brian's chair and then moved the chair all the way to the lowest setting, knowing that Brian's 6'6" and would have to raise the chair. And finally Brian reaches down to grab the lever to raise his chair, gets iced. Classic, one of the best icings I've ever seen. 5 minutes later, Larry was paying up on a bet. So Larry presents Brian this very nice bottle of wine, except it's a Smirnoff Ice, ices him twice in the same day.
I was like, okay, my boss just chugged a giant Smirnoff Ice and it's like 9:30 a.m. This is gonna be the best company ever to work with.
Classic.
Then there was a whole prank war. So Brian was getting a little bit irritated that he felt that Larry was the one drinking all the coffee. So Brian wanted to kind of prove a point and filled up Larry's Keurig with vinegar instead of water. So this essentially is what set off the entire prank war. And then it really gets escalated. There was an electronic billboard. And so Larry got Brian's face photoshopped with a wig on it. And it happened to be on a billboard that is at Paseo and I-25, where there is a ton of traffic that goes by that billboard. Needless to say, that's where the prank ended. Larry was lucky he still had his job, but everybody had a really good laugh. That was definitely, I think, the prank of all pranks.
Yeah, I've got 8 years of footage that'll make sure that nobody in this company ever can run for president.